Hello and welcome to Celebrating Simple Life. I'm Kimberly and I've been planning parties and incredible events for the past 15 years. I'm passionate about connecting people, making gatherings purposeful, and making the most out of every moment. Join me as we learn together how to find joy, celebrate the simple things in life, use events to grow your business, entertain with purpose, and have a whole lot of fun along the way. Cheers to Celebrating Simple Life. I could not be more excited to let you know that Shine Summit tickets are now available. Shine Summit takes place October 1st, 2020. So you have lots of time to reflect, think about how this event might be exactly what you have been looking for. This is going to be a day that will change your life. If you are an entrepreneur or a leader in your industry, maybe you're dreaming of making changes in your life, you will not want to miss this opportunity. When you take time to invest in you, your business, it affects all the areas in your life. It benefits your family, your community, and all the relationships around you. I am literally so passionate about connecting people in ways that help them grow, and this Shine Summit is the perfect opportunity for that. I have experienced firsthand how investing in myself and in my business by attending an event such as this can absolutely change the trajectory of your life, because it has happened to me. Here's why this is powerful. Life is hard. Business is hard. And some days it honestly doesn't take much to feel like everything is going in a chaotic direction. And what is the point of putting in all of the work and effort that running a business and being a leader within your organization takes? But I'm here to tell you that Shine Summit will not only inspire you and give you all of the feels, you guys, but this Shine Summit is going to give you hands-on, tangible tools that will help directly take your life and your business to the next level. Being surrounded by like-minded individuals and those who have been in their entrepreneurial and business journeys longer than maybe you have is absolutely essential. Hearing from them, hearing their stories, hearing their mistakes, and how they're willing to share their experiences, vulnerability, and really try to help you avoid those same mistakes. We have experts from all over that are going to be coming to share their expertise and to grow together. You will be blown away by our headliner, Sarah Heron. Isn't that the girl from The Bachelor? Why, yes, it sure is. Sarah is a force to be reckoned with, and she has taken her experience of being on a public television show and putting her story out there in the world and taking her disability that she was born with and turning it into something extraordinary. She has an incredible story, an incredible business sense, and she is such an inspiring woman. And you get to hang out with her and be inspired. This summit has been created to surround you with a community of incredible women who will challenge you, help you grow and thrive, and we want to see you there. Imagine the energy, joy, and engaging lessons that you get to be a part of and incorporate those directly into your life and business in ways that are specifically tailored to you. We will be talking about leadership, marketing, social media, overcoming adversity, reinventing your business in new and unique ways. This is not the type of conference where you are just going to hear speeches and leave with a few notes. If you are struggling in finding your niche, to sell more, to organize your finances, or maybe you're even afraid to admit the things that you wish you understood in business, then this is the place for you. This is a summit where you will be challenged to be interactive, to dig deeper in order to achieve the goals that you are dreaming up. Shine Summit is being hosted in the most beautiful event space where everyone attending is there for the same purpose, to shine. These tickets are going to sell out fast, and as a listener of Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast, you are the first to know. Check out shinecollective.ca for all the juicy details. Today on the show, I am so excited to chat with Erin Street, owner of Foreverly Yours Boutique. She has started a Canadian sustainable clothing company and is absolutely rocking it. I met her a little while back as she is one of the suppliers of some of our really adorable merchandise in our Cassidy's Lemonade Stand online boutique. These lemon scrunchies she has created for us are an absolute sellout every time. She is funny and sassy and lovely, and I just am so happy to call her a friend. The products that she has created in her line of sustainable fashion and accessories just make you feel so good as a consumer because you know that you are shopping sustainable, locally sourced items. She is changing the fashion scene and making sustainable clothing something that is not only fashionable but affordable and accessible for everyone. She is making the world a better place through her business and the way she lives out her role as a woman, wife, mama, and she is honestly just a light everywhere she goes. I am so excited for you to hear our conversation today. Stay tuned all the way to the end because you might even receive a special gift from Erin just for listening. Hello, Erin. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yay! I am so excited to chat with you today. I have a million things that I want to ask you, and this is really the first time that you and I have really sat down. We've known each other for a little while and have had a few different projects and events that we've seen each other in and hung out, but we've never actually gotten to just sit down and chit chat.
It's been in my calendar, so I've got lots to discuss.
Yay! So I am so excited to talk about Foreverly Yours, your amazing boutique, and you are killing it out there.
Just crushing it every day.
Yeah, right. Every day, just living the dream. Living the dream, right? No cares in the world.
Nope.
Rainbows,
so easy.
butterflies. You're even wearing your sweatshirt, sunshine, all sunshine. But what we really want to hear about is the dark storm clouds that have brought you.
There's many. There are many.
This was good. We'll dig right in here. That's the juicy stuff. So I want to know about how you have gotten to where you are today in your boutique and where you started from, because I think that's always so interesting. I think it's very easy for people listening or people who follow you on Instagram or follow me on Instagram or see anybody on social media, and you just think that this happened yesterday. Right. You just snapped your fingers and you've got this great following and you're doing what you want to do. You're making the world a better place and it's all just a breeze, right? And I think that this is one of the things that I love the most about being able to have these in-depth conversations is that I think there's so many people that have these dreams and these ideas that are maybe side hustles or things that they're doing, and they just dream of a day that they could either quit their job or start something new or do something because it just seems like that's the road that makes life easier. And I want to kind of crush that thought, but at the same time let people know that if you believe in something and you want to do it, you will work harder than you've ever worked in your entire life.
Right.
But how do you actually get there? Right. Not just, I all of a sudden see you and you appear. What are the actual steps? So I would love to know how...
My formula,
Yes, what is your secret formula? Stay tuned later on in the show for the secret formula. So how did you start? Tell me about Erin. Tell me about yourself and how you... started and what led you to starting Foreverly Yours.
Sure. Yeah. So, my name is Erin Street and I'm owner-operator of Foreverly Yours Clothing Co. And I'm just going into my 5th year of business, which is I can't believe that. My daughter's birthday was yesterday. She turned 5 and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything is coming. Yeah. Everything is coming to, okay, this is my job.
Right. This isn't just maybe this will work out for you.
Right, yeah. So it's been really exciting, but it's also been lots of ups and downs. So I started my business 5 years ago, right after my daughter was born. I
Perfect timing.
Yeah,
Let's
really.
have a new baby and start a business.
Yeah, your firstborn and let's start a new baby, like a new business baby, right? Yeah, okay, sure. But that was my mental state at the moment, because I'd really suffered with postpartum depression right after my daughter was born and kept it to myself, really suffered in silence, and that's a whole other, we'll unpack that later.
That'll be another episode.
That we'll unpack it later. Yeah. So for Christmas that year, I got a sewing machine, and I just found it very cathartic, and my husband was really supportive of just taking my daughter in the evenings, because right around 7:00, I'd call it the witching hour.
Yes.
Tears would come. I was uncontrollable.
Aww.
It was
this is you, really, not the baby.
Yeah, this is me. Yeah, I'm sure she was crying too. What's going on here, Mom? Get it together.
The mommy witching hour.
Get it together. Yes. But anyways, yeah. Again, for another day. But I would just go into my office and sew for hours, and just really got a lot. I'd be up till 3 a.m.
And just lose yourself in it.
Yeah, and so then all of a sudden it was well, I'm ordering all these fun fabrics, and I was sewing for her and myself, and then it came to the point of well, Erin, what do you need to do with all this stuff? What are your intentions behind this sewing machine? So then I found a serger, started buying just more and more, and then it just, I don't know, a few friends were you should start selling this. So of course, then the toe dip happened, and right out the hop, I don't know how it happened, but CTV News picked up what we were doing, so they came and interviewed us, and that was the moment where we were labeled mompreneur, and I thought, wow, that's so cool. And now,
is a real thing.
Yeah, and now 5 years later, how do we get away from the mompreneur? This is now a full-fledged business, and here's where we're going. So, so the company was named after my daughter. Just I blurted it out one night, and Chris was that's it, that's the name.
Cute.
And
because her name is Everly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we have a son, so we have to figure something out. Side business here, yeah. But yeah, so that's where everything started, and now I'm finding myself trying to separate from the mompreneur. We're no longer just mom and pop. We're going for it. Yeah. So we're now into adult clothing and accessories, and just try to expand and build on our brand as much as we can.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what were you doing prior to your mat leave with Everly, where that you decided that you was there a job you were going to go back to, or what was the industry that you were in prior?
Yeah, so by trade I'm a sign language interpreter, and I was working for Saskatchewan Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services as well as the Catholic system. So they were very supportive. I had a really great supervisor, and when I went back, I think she could see how much I struggled.
So you did go back to work after, once she was
I did.
One. Okay.
Yeah, so now trying to run a business, take care of a 1-year-old, and work my 9-to-5er, right? So I loved that job. It was the best, I say job, it was my career, but now having left it, okay, so spoiler alert, I ended up quitting. Yeah. But I went back for a year and a half, and then we ended up getting pregnant with my second. So I stayed with the school board for another 3 years, and then after I went back with Jasper, after his mat leave, he ended up getting really sick and was hospitalized for a week, and in that, it was pretty much the month I went back to school, January. Yeah, so he was in, that's right. I was at school for 3 weeks. He got very sick, and one of those sicks where you're this might be
the world is stopping.
Yeah. We're talking ICU, intubation. It was really, really scary. Crisis mode for sure, where you're okay, taking everything into stock now. So in that week where I was with him, and again, the school board was just you family first, you take care of your family, right? And I just knew something had to change. So I stayed till June, and then I took a year leave of absence, and then they called me in May this last year, and they're we kind of need your decision. I said, I can't go back. It's just, my heart's somewhere else,
So how did that make you feel? There's one thing to know that there's something stable and consistent waiting for you, even if you weren't actively participating in it, but knowing that you already knew that this business was a go. Things were happening. Things are floating. It wasn't like, oh, I hope I have sales this week.
Right.
You know, like you knew it was all a go. It wasn't you were in the beginning stages of, I'm needing to support my family with my income. Like you were already at a place where you knew that your business was working.
Yeah.
But how did it feel to give them an answer when you had to actually say, I am actually saying no to my consistent scheduled paycheck in a job that you do love? Like how rewarding to be in that field. But how did that feel?
I haven't.
Have you processed that yet?
I'm scared if they're listening. Yeah. It was really hard because I did really love the work, like working with kids who were deaf and hard of hearing was like, the best thing ever. But so here's what was happening. I was going to work every day, coming home, cooking supper, and then sewing all night to catch up with orders that had come in.
Right.
That was not sustainable, and it wasn't good for my family, and I was really stressed out. So it is for the best. It's not like I've never looked back. A pension was nice. Yes. Yeah. But just looking at everything, like we did our taxes and we looked at that and it was like, you know what, this is it. This is where our heart is now. So
totally. Well, and I think that sometimes it's so easy to say, oh, there's like 50 different directions I could go here. Which is the right path to take? But you kind of just have to trust that whatever is happening in the moment is what's supposed to be happening, and not a coulda, woulda, shoulda type of scenario of, oh, what if I did keep that job and what if I didn't do this, right? I find that that's happened with myself too over the years of different things that I've gone in and out of, and also had a lightning bolt moment of a child getting sick out of the blue, and your world is just rocked, right? And I think that there's a part of your brain that is forever changed because you just want to make sure that you are being there for your family, but you still want to love your career too. And that was it, right? So like interpreting was awesome. Like I got so much out of it. Like it fed a lot of my soul. But then Jasper got sick and I just was like, I don't know what it was. There was just something in me that just turned a switch and it was like, nope. If we're able to do it, lots of sacrifices made. It's not like it was just like, oh great, we won the lottery and we can do whatever we want. But definitely our kids are happier. I'm happier. Totally.
My husband's happier. Yeah.
So you've taken this to the direction now that you've taken it in, where now you've even expanded further from your original kids line into adult clothing and all these accessories. Like your stuff is just so cute. Where do you get your inspiration from? Because I think that one of the things that is sometimes a bit of a misconception to people that are either just starting getting into their own business or trying to do it all, and I am in a constant state of trying to figure this out in my own life. How do you start and run a business, work in the business, because running a business and actually doing your sewing are two very different things, right? Yeah. How do you do that plus manage your promotions and your social media and juggle everything that's in there? Where do you get your inspiration and flow from? How do you feel that works for you?
Oh, that's a really great question. So I have dyslexia and ADHD, which for my whole life has been, I felt like, I can't, but it's actually served me really well in working for myself. Wow. It has. Like, I know that sounds crazy. And like, if you do follow us and you watch our posts, you are bound to catch spelling mistakes. And that's me. I can read something 5 times over and or counting. I can count something 10 times. I just had an order and they're like, you're missing 3. I'm like, but I counted it 4 times. Okay, this is just who I am and I'm going to work with that and whatever. And it also makes me wonder how many I send extra. I have happy customers, I guess.
Totally. No complaints on that end.
But the ADHD portion, I think, really helps me because coming under a line where you have a ton of pressure, I can get things done. but then I'm also allowed to follow my whims when working for
Right.
myself. So I might get stuck down a rabbit hole, and I might have been there for 2 hours looking at something on social media, but it's already sparked like 30 ideas in my head, which now, down the
Translates
pike.
to something else.
Yeah, down the pike. So it might be 3 weeks later, but it's like, oh yeah, I remember when I saw that when I was searching,
So
whatever.
do you do anything because obviously running a business and keeping track of everything, just being a woman, wife, mother in general, let alone business owner, there's a billion details going through our heads every day. And I love how you post on Instagram about like the real things going on in life and the struggles. You're so funny.
My hair on fire.
Yes, you make me laugh like every single time I scroll past one of your posts. I'm like, oh my goodness. And this is why we connect, because you are hysterical. But I love how you keep it real. But is there things that you find with having ADHD that do you work on things to manage your ADHD within your business? Or do you just find that you're like, the business itself has actually helped me find more rhythm and patterns and things to like make it not an issue for you?
The second.
Yeah.
I find that I'm allowed to entertain the ideas that keep spinning in my head at midnight.
Right.
And then
preventing you from falling asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it just seems like it's the best match for me, because in school all of my report cards, Erin has so much potential if she would just focus, right?
Right.
And I to all my teachers, I'm sorry. I really tried. I really tried. But it's the being allowed not to focus is where I get so many of the, hey, why don't you do this? And like, maybe I'll try it out and maybe it'll totally be a flop.
Yeah.
But I tried it and I proved it to myself, and that's it. And I also don't read instructions, right? So it's always coming from my brain.
Right.
Like what I want to.
Well, I love that, because I love how unique qualities about somebody can be one of the things that you can actually use to your advantage. If it isn't maybe something that you would look at as being like, oh, wow, I wish I didn't have dyslexia, ADHD. I wish that maybe wasn't what I have. But to be able to use that and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I am who I am, and I am able to actually use this as a benefit, even though normally you would think of that as like a detriment or something, like it isn't given a positive light.
Yeah. And I do still struggle. Like every time I need to put something important out to the world, or like working on my website, Chris, my husband, has to spell check everything. Right. And like, do you want to hear a funny story?
I do want to hear a funny story.
It's inappropriate, so if you have children in the room, tell them to leave. So I make bonnets, and I put out this post of, it's bonnet season, and I read it several times, and it went onto my social media, but I had put out it's boner season to all the people who followed. And
you are going to have so many people trying to see if this post is still in existence right now. Your following is going to skyrocket. Oh my word, I could not love this more.
So thank God I had some friends in my corner, because my phone blew up. It was like, Erin, you need to change this post. And I just cried. I cried, because I just thought, oh my gosh,
but we're laughing now, so that's funny.
I know. But some people are so serious about their English and grammar, which, like, God love you, because where would we be without these people, right?
Yeah.
But I'm the opposite, where it's just like, this was just a really unfortunate mistake.
That has made my day. That's totally made my day.
So every bonnet season that's come since.
Make sure you follow Forever Yours on Instagram, because you never know what little treats might pop up in your inbox before she finds out. I love that. So as you're then day-to-day life, and you are just trying to juggle it all like every woman in this world is doing, what do you find is the most scary part about owning a business that would maybe cause you to listen to we all listen to the ridiculous stories we tell ourselves sometimes in our heads? What causes doubt and things in you, and how do you overcome that and know that you are doing and living out what you're supposed to be doing within your business?
I think just our message behind the business of, like, we believe in, ethical, sustainable lines of fashion, and so I try to support as many businesses as myself. So I'll buy lots of people who are making their own clothing, that kind of thing too. But I really believe in our message behind our business so much that I've dropped a lot of the doubt and worry. I mean, that's not to say that there's none, but in the early days I used to really let comments bother me, or like, oh, I didn't do this, or I could have done more, or people don't like my stuff, or, you know, if you had a bad show, right, that happens. Yeah. That happens. But it's not necessarily about you. It might just be that you weren't a fit for that show. So now 5 years into doing trade shows and craft shows and all that kind of thing, just learning where your brand flourishes and maybe isn't as well received is good. Like I did one show. Oh God, another story. I did one show and it was like a really like I don't know what the right word is, but it was like, you know, $15 to get into the show, just to shop.
Right.
And so it was like people who really took their crafting seriously and really wanted to support handmade and stuff like that. And I did well at the show, but the one thing that stuck with me is this woman walked by. She didn't even stop at the booth. She's like, "How much is everything?" And I was like, "Well, we have things that start at $10." Yeah. You know, and I don't even know why I entertained it. I'm like, "Well, you should come in and look."
Yeah.
But it bothered me right away. I was like, because she said, "Well, you can't compete with Walmart." I was like, "Oh, no, that's not our message."
Yeah.
Like,
come back here.
We have flyers. I have a pamphlet. No, but it really bothered me. And then I thought, you know, she just wasn't my customer.
Right.
Let it go. Like, those things don't matter. And so, yeah, now the things that keep me up at night are, this is my main source of income. Mm-hmm. This is like my brainchild. The other thing that really worries me is like, that people just might misconstrue who I am, right? Like I am just a quirky weirdo that loves to chat.
Well, isn't it sometimes though, somebody, I can't even remember who told me this, but this is a quote that I have kept to my heart. Honestly, every single day I probably think about this, where I can't even remember where it is. And if you do know where this is, message me, because I can't remember where I heard this quote. Something about what other people think of you is none of your business.
You're right.
And that, I feel like I can say it over and over and over again and hear something different out of it every single time I say it out loud to myself.
Yep.
But that, to me, if we could all be more mindful of that and just staying in our own lane and realizing that there is enough world and space and market for everyone, that it's not I own this business, so you can't, you do this project, so you can't, like, that somebody else's success is not my failure.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think I hear that in what you're saying, that it's just this like growth process where after 5 years, definitely some of the things that maybe irked you at the beginning are like, oh, I can't even believe that bothered me now, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a constant involvement where new things then come up because your business grows and it changes, and new things come up that are maybe uncharted territory where you're experiencing something for the first time, again, in a way that might be annoying or frustrating or making you question, am I doing this the right way? Is this, you know, like, I think that it's a daily learning process. Hey, and I hear that you're saying that you've like kind of evolved, and that the more you almost, don't you find the more you almost put yourself out there, even though that's kind of scary, the more that things happen and you realize it's not maybe as scary as you thought it might be, that like your thoughts in your head telling you to do or not do something are actually scarier than the potential worst case scenario of like what you might get into?
That's such a funny question, because I used to be very timid and shy, but not in this business. I've always just really believed in the back end of just like putting out things that, you know, aren't taking advantage of other people and like good quality.
I wanted to take a moment to thank you, my incredible listeners, for your continued support in Celebrating Simple Life, the podcast. This week's review that showed up is from Steph Sarah, and she writes, "Celebrating Simple Life is a must listen. I love how honest Kimberly is in her podcast. Listening feels like you are sitting down to a cup of coffee together. I recommend listening to gain hope and ways to apply a fresh outlook to your life." Steph Sarah, thank you so much for leaving a review and writing such thoughtful words. That is exactly what I am hoping that Celebrating the Simple Life, the podcast, can be for anyone who chooses to tune in. If you would want to make my day, please take time to subscribe, rate, and review. And hopefully your review will be the next one to show up on the next episode. Now back to the show. How then, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit. You mentioned about shows and events and like places that you go. I know that I am not in the retail like industry, but I know that life continues to evolve with the way social media and online shopping and trying to keep on promoting the message of choosing local and supporting local. And how do you find that keeping your boutique involved with local events and things that are happening locally, as well as you have your online store, obviously, so you can have customers from anywhere in the world. It really doesn't matter where somebody lives. But how do you find that has helped your business grow to get involved in pop-up events and being a part of markets and things where you are actually not just a face on social media or your products on social media, but actually like face to face with people and being in the room with them? How do you find that has helped your business grow?
Nobody will support you more than somebody who's going through the same trenches. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the people who are side by side going through the exact same things of like, well, maybe people don't like my stuff, or maybe it's priced too high, or maybe it's priced too low, or why isn't this like, these are your people. Like they and we all rely on each other to build each other up, right? Like I've never made as many friends as I have working with people side by side, like at a show. Isn't
that so true?
Because
we did an event together, you and I, a couple months ago, and it was this adorable pop-up style shopping event, and I was coordinating it from an event perspective, but had some awesome businesses, you being one of them, that was involved with the show. And I could not agree more. Because I am not in the industry of actually hand making, like I don't have a product to sell, I have a service-based business. But being in the room with so many incredible, beautiful companies who are just showcasing what they feel their gift and their products are to the world, and being so proud to talk about them, and connecting with each other, and seeing all of you guys in the room talking and making new connections, and you all had similar and very different things that you had going on. Like it wasn't like you were all selling the same thing, but there was different clothing, different things, different products, different giftware, different stuff that was all from local companies. And I just stood back for a little while during that event and just observed what was going on. And it was so beautiful to see how like you were able to engage with just customers that come in who had maybe been your followers for forever, or who had never heard of you before, and are coming in, and that you could talk about your product, and they were literally meeting the designer on the spot, face to face. That is a rare occurrence in the fashion industry, right? Like to be able to actually talk and be up close and personal and shop from it. And I just thought it was really neat how everybody in the room, customers and you as each other's businesses, we were all like, oh my goodness, I love that. I'm going to like buy this from, everyone was like buying things from each other even, because you just like knew that you were all exactly what you just said, in the trenches together. And it was a really cool way to get to know businesses from across Saskatchewan, really, who were living in different cities and places, and it might have been somebody that you would have never actually met in person before. So I like that.
Yeah, one of the biggest pieces, like I think, well, there's two things really. It's everyone has a place, and there's a place for everyone, right? Like I think that, and when you start going to like well put together events, and there's like already a care for the event itself, not just for yourself, but just for the event, and that everyone has a good time and that everybody feels comfortable, that itself is, you can feel that. I can feel right away when I walk into somebody's store if I feel welcome or not. And I can tell right away if I'm going to spend money or not.
Right. Totally.
So now translating that to my business, does everybody feel welcome? That's whether I make a sale or not, I really could care less, as long as everybody feels like I cared, that they came to support. Just walking into my booth, just looking at a picture like that, it's lifeblood to us, right? And the other piece that I've figured out is nobody's going to care about your business as much as you do. So if you don't care about your business, nobody else is going to.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah. I can't care more about somebody else's business than they care. Because it's not my business, right? And if I don't care about mine, like, you do have to take care of each other, but you definitely have to take care of yourself, right? Like, just like they tell you when you're a first-time parent, like, don your own mask first.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is a theme that has come up over and over.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had so many conversations that have been on this exact topic in the last few months, just personally and in business, just where there's just this sense of, we all, I think especially as women, you just feel like you're supposed to be everything to everyone. And if you aren't able to feel like you can wake up in the morning and feel like yourself, or that you feel cared for, or you feel resentment towards whomever about this and about that and about that, that is going to translate into you not necessarily being able to put your best foot forward in your day, in your business, in your life, because there's things holding you back, right? And I think that sort of comes back to the whole piece of self-care and like taking care of yourself so that you can put your best foot forward into the world and run your business and be a active member of society. So, you know, but I love how you gave a shameless plug to the event industry about how putting events, properly curated events, make a huge difference.
Big time.
And that makes me happy that you recognize that as somebody who's a part of the event, not organizing the event, but involved in the event on the other side of the event, where you're wanting it to be a success for your own business, but recognize that there's details that kind of have to be a part of it in order for it to work. Yeah.
Well, and like the biggest testament I can say to that was SOAR. Like, if you haven't been to SOAR, I was lucky enough to be able to go to that. And that was like, and I just was volunteering. Like, who am I? I'm just.
So we'll give you a little backtrack.
Yeah, please, because I won't do it justice.
SOAR was a project that I created for our nonprofit, for Cassidy's Lemonade Stand, which you can link in my bio to Cassidy's Lemonade Stand to see all about that. But yeah, like I would say that is why I do what I do, is being able to create events for businesses to use as a marketing tool is one of my favorite things in the whole world to do, because I think that is often a missed opportunity for businesses, because I think you're in the trenches of running a business. Then to promote said business is a whole nother piece. Then to say, what above and beyond social media am I going to do to promote my business? Oh, now I've got to go participate in all of these events, and I have to network, and I have to meet people, and it can feel daunting to think about, especially when you are a small business that is doing a lot of the things yourself. You might have a few staff, but you're still ultimately responsible for the growth of your business, and it's a lot to fit in.
Right.
And just to like make it a go is a huge undertaking, and it can feel so overwhelming. And I think that's what I love about being able to use events to do, is that I like to create events where somebody like yourself can come in as a participant, and you don't need to feel that there's other things. You can focus on your business.
Yeah.
You can focus on doing what you need to do for your business for that event, and you're not worrying about whether or not the event is going to be a success or not. You are worrying about your portion of the event, and how do you get your followers to come to the event in order to help everybody that's a part of it be as successful. And again, just staying in your own lane, doing what you do, and it naturally, I think, is just sort of like an organic process that happens when everybody that's involved with it has the same level of passion and care towards what their role is in an event. So I love that. So what do you have coming down the pipe for fall? And we are nearing the Christmas season soon. And where can we find, besides going online, where can we find you popping up in the near future? If someone wants a face-to-face.
Face-to-face.
So what do you have coming up in November?
That's a great question. So yeah, you can always find us at foreverlyyours.com. But, and actually by the end of this week, we'll have the last of our fall loaded onto the website. of course, it's the ADHD brain again, where I was like, I can do this all. So I wanted to load everything on Thursday before curated, which like, you know, whatever.
Let's be realistic, Erin.
Yeah. Which I got half done and I was like, good for me.
Yay.
That's great. So anyways, if you've been waiting anxiously, it's coming. And then October we're probably going to do one pop-up. It's just sort of in the works here. But November, you can find us everywhere. We will be everywhere in Saskatoon.
She will be everywhere. So you list all of these things on your social media. So just follow them so you can see where it is. So I always like to end the interview with questions that are, well, they usually end up diving into business a little bit, but just learning more about you. Because I think it is so intriguing that social media has allowed us to have this like wall of human contact where you like realize that you're like, we were just actually joking about this before we jumped on today about how we're like, have I left the house this week? When you're like a working from home type of person. Anyways, like I have to get dressed and ready to go out to go do something.
Sometimes on my videos, I just put a shirt on and my hair and a scrunchie and then I just wear pajama bottoms.
Where you like start recording and you're like, wait a second, I'm not wearing clothes. Stop recording.
I'll just, cover up my house coat here. Sorry.
So what is something, obviously a busy morning, getting kids going, getting ready for the day. What is your first thing that you do in the morning that maybe sets the tone for the day, or how do you get yourself started?
Music.
Oh, yeah, that's a good answer.
Music, and it's always like
blasting music?
Just on my phone, and the kids, like, it just, oh my gosh, what a difference it makes in the kids, because like I'll sometimes go into Evie's room like with my phone playing, and she's like, oh, like she loves weird song, like music, like she loves Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh wow,
and
she's an eclectic
Harry
thing.
Belafonte, anyway, so that gets the day going for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And are you a coffee or a tea drinker?
Coffee.
I already knew that about you just because I know you, but coffee. Me too.
Wine. No, I take that back. I'm a wine person.
I was actually going to offer you wine today while we recorded, but that'll be for another late night podcast.
That sounds good. Yeah.
What is one thing when you finally exit your house in a day? What is one thing that you always have in your purse?
Oh boy. Well, snacks. Honestly, just snacks. Like our lives revolve around food, my kids, me. And whenever I don't eat, like I get that hangry. Like some people get, like, oh, whatever. But I just like,
I go from 0 to 60 into full blown panic mode in like a minute. It is. I know. I understand toddler temper tantrums. Totally understand.
My husband started carrying snacks. Like when we first got married, he's just like, here, have a granola bar.
You're making me frustrated. Eat a granola bar. Sorry. I love it. That's good that he knows that about you.
Yeah.
So with life and busyness and everything in between, what is one thing that you do for yourself when you can?
Right.
I know how busy you are, but this will maybe be mindful to you of what you do need to do. What is one thing that you do for like self-care to help protect your mental health? You've already experienced what postpartum feels like and how it feels to get into a dark place and worked your way to get out of that. So what do you do for yourself that can, even if it's something super small, that can kind of just press reset in your day or your week?
I'm gonna come back to food again.
Oh, please! You're in the right company here.
making a good meal, like one where I feel like my family's eaten well and I've eaten well, because a lot of the time it's like, what do we have in the freezer? Okay, great. Like it's just, we don't
fly by the seat of your
it's
pants.
terrible.
Yeah.
So when we can all sit at the table and it's like a good meal, and when my kids say, whoa, can I have more? I'm like, okay, this was,
Mama's done good.
I'm satisfied. I know. I never thought, pre-kids it would have been like, a night out on the town. Now it's like, if I'm in bed by 9.
Totally. Then we can chalk it up to a successful day.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that you would leave listeners today? One piece of advice or something that either has helped you through the years, and now that you're not in a new stage of business anymore, and just as you've evolved as a human, what is one thing that you would remind them of today?
I don't know. I guess first thing that comes to my mind is being able to put my head down on my pillow at night. So running a business, issues come up, somebody, my shirt, there was something wrong with it, or I ordered the wrong size or whatever, and you try to please everybody, but really just being able to put your head down on the pillow always comes down to, was I kind? So maybe I wasn't able to at Forever Yours, we're always able to satisfy our customers. But
100%
but
satisfaction.
if somebody's walking away not feeling 100%, that really weighs heavy on me. And so just knowing that I have kindness always when I am speaking with anybody at the top of the message is what just allows me to rest well and easily, I guess, is just doing everything with like good intention and kindness behind it, maybe.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, and I think that's ultimately can make complicated situations diffused immediately when it's just.
Well, how good do you feel when you're heard, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Erin. This has been enlightening. I just love talking with you. So click the show notes in here and you can click through to her business and follow her. You will not be disappointed. She is just such a light. So thanks for being here today.
Bless your heart.
You know that feeling when you put on your favorite sweater and it feels like home, like something you could just wear forever, a big hug. Foreverly Yours is a local, amazing company that not only creates sustainable kids and women's apparel, accessories, and organic fabrics, but believes in the customer service and wants every piece of their collection to be something that you will love. The heart of their company believes that everyone should have access to fashionable, sustainable, handmade clothing at an accessible price. Each piece is handmade with love. One of my favorite products are their scrunchies, which I now get to share with my girls. They have such fun patterns and prints, and they are always a conversation piece. We even carry their lemon scrunchies exclusively to our nonprofit Cassidy's Lemonade Stands boutique for cystic fibrosis, and everyone just loves them. Because all of the products are handmade with love, they are coming up with new prints and patterns all the time. I already know what my next purchase is going to be. It's the You're Making Me Blush long sleeve tee, which will be perfect for fall. And I absolutely love the blush color that it comes in. They even offer free shipping on all orders over $75. And as a valued member of the Celebrating Simple Life community, you get an exclusive code to receive 15% off your entire order. 15% off your entire order. You can get a jump start on your holiday shopping by clicking over to www.foreverlyyours.com and use the code CELEBRATE15 at checkout to receive your discount. That's foreverlyyours.com and use the code CELEBRATE15 because today is a great day to celebrate.